You women out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty, girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world.
Oh, you are.
Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters, all the money and visibility she bringing to the WNBA. Don't be petty like dudes. Listen, what she's accomplished, give her flowers. Stop being petty, all you women out there. She got y'all ass charters. She bringing all y'all this money to the table, but y'all being petty like dudes. LeBron, you 100% right. Y'all girls, stop being petty. Caitlin Clark, thank you for bringing all that money and shine to the WNBA.
I just want to start off by saying thank you so much for the growth on this channel, the love that's been shown, and just the constant engagement. It doesn't go unnoticed. I'm gonna start doing more analysis once I set up my studio properly. But yeah, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and also just keep posted and turn those notifications on because I'm gonna keep posting consistently. Yeah, so stay tuned.
We love Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
There's no. I think she's amazing. I watched every time I possibly could, and our league loves her. This has nothing to do. We're just doing our job. We're gonna show up. Who is ever on the other team is on the other team. We don't really care. We're gonna show up and do us. And so I think this narrative of like everybody hating on Caitlin Clark, and even the black and white thing, knock it off. It's not there. It's not there. So shut down the noise. And by the way, what is she, 22? She's a 22-year-old woman with a lot of pressure.
She's not perfect.
She's not perfect. She's a rookie in this league. Like, back off.
Yeah.
Back
She's learning
off.
and growing just like everyone else. I feel like that's what people don't give her a chance. This is growth. We tell our rookies every single day, this is new. You're coming into a whole nother new world and starting over. So it's the questions are only annoying because it's like, she's young, she's a rookie. Y'all keep asking us these questions as if she's a grown-ass woman that's been in this league for years. Like, no, she's doing her job, we're doing ours. And at the end of the day, that's how we grow, is when we get better and do things like that. So, yeah, I'm just exhausted over the conversation because I know she's exhausted. I can only imagine. So,
And so far as the charters and this and that, I don't care if Kermit the Frog made the change. We've been fighting for this.
Becky over here,
We've been pushing. I mean, I've played in this league at 99, and we were traveling the same way. And I'm, like I said, I don't really care who's bringing this or who's bringing the crowds. What I care is that they're there and they're on the eyes and they see how great women's basketball is. That's what I care about, and that's a mic drop. Bye.
You know, we want to talk about sort of all things basketball, and Caitlin Clark, phenomenal run. Yeah. I saw her the other night, by the way. I saw her the other night in Indy after her, I think it was her second game or third game. But it was the first game against Liberty. They played Liberty Thursday, then they were back here in New York on Saturday. I saw her after the Thursday game, very briefly. And, you know, she was just talking about the quick turnaround, which I find to be insane, that they go through this season that starts basically in September. They have all their preseason practices, games. She does the tournament, gets the national championship game. And then, like, within a month, she's playing in real WNBA games. There's no real off season for her. But the thing I wanted to bring up was just, I don't want to call it hatred, but there's definitely, like a dislike or vitriol coming her way towards older players. And look, I think we all experienced that to some degree when we first got in the NBA.
For sure.
Your opponents are not wrapping their arms around you. I had that to a small extent. I was the cocky white kid from Duke, right? You know, I feel like sometimes my teammates hated me. How did you process that? How did you go through that at a young age, coming into the NBA, where the people could have been your teammates, could have been the people you were competing against. They weren't celebrating you.
No, not at all.
They wanted to kick your ass.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, my teammates for sure. There's video evidence of my teammates basically saying like, he's not ready, or there's somebody playing his position, or we're not putting all our faith in the 18-year-old kid, or, all this hype. We've been here, all this, so my own teammates that I had to like be on the floor with, practicing with, on the planes with, in the locker room, in game situations was kind of, just had this kind of, like you said, you want to say hate, but just like animosity, like towards me and what I could provide. And I didn't even come in with that. I came in with the narrative, but I didn't come in with that type of aura. I just wanted to come in and learn from the vets and then put the work in. So I think for my advice to Caitlin, and my advice to anyone that comes in with this, this level of like notoriety, out of this world expectation, whatever the case may be, I just think it's all about having, be a horse, man. The Kentucky Derby, put your blinders on, go to work, show up to work, punch your clock in, prepare yourself, work on your game, work on your craft, kind of keep your mouth shut, and just learn from the vets. When they ask, you voice your opinion if they want your opinion, man, early on, because everybody is looking for you to say anything and they're going to splice it and cut it and make it a negative thing. And I think for her, the one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in. I saw for the first time that they had a chartered plane for the first time in their league history. They flew private. That should be celebrated in its own right. For anyone that's, in sports that's flown commercial or flown, charter, that should be celebrated. And it's because of Caitlin Clark. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA. But for her individually, I don't think she should get involved on nothing that's being said. Just go have fun, enjoy. People need to realize the Indiana Fever, this is the second year in a row they had the number one pick. So do y'all know what that means? That means they're not that good. They had back-to-back years as the number one pick.
Why are you a hater on the Fever, man?
I am a realist. Because not only I get people are just crazy about why she should be doing this and they should be doing that. If she's so great, this team, it's still a team game, people. It is still a team game. And, but I'm rooting for Caitlin because I've been in that seat before. I've walked that road before. I hope she kills. I hope Aaliyah Boston does amazing. I hope they do great.
Got PTSD, the big three. It's just big me. Boom. I'm really like that. And your best work is a light pack. Prince outlived Mike Jack. Boom.
I didn't think you would come to this, but I got a couple DM requests from my friends, some subscribers, asking me what my thoughts on how I would address this. And I took some time to think about it, really analyze the stats. I've been a day one Caitlin Clark fan before. When she got recruited to the University of Iowa, I was watching her. And that was when close to no one watched women's basketball, specifically college basketball. So I had to address this in terms of the bandwagoners, the same ones that were on the Caitlin Clark hype train, showing support but fake love to her when she was bringing in crowds in the University of Iowa and just dropping stat after stat, and everyone was Team Caitlin Clark. I was saying to my friend, not just the University of Iowa, but the state of Iowa better write a check. If you can bring in masses in terms of an economic perspective, you bringing in tourism, you bringing in major celebrities just to come watch you. It's the equivalency to what Coach Prime did with University of Colorado Boulder. I lived in Colorado the year before, and I'll tell you, the buzz in Colorado was not the same. I mean, don't get me wrong, Colorado is a wonderful state. That's one of the dream places. I would settle there. I lived there for a year. That's another story. But it's just, you got to give credit where credit is due. And I think that, honestly, I'm so glad that the Unc Shay Shay, Unc Charles Barkley, Stephen Smith, and even Unc LeBron stepped up and they started defending her. She is the face of the WNBA as 22 years old. She comes in there off a college season with minimal rest time, transitioning straight into media. A lot of media coverage. She's the face of Indiana Fever. She's probably now the face of Indiana, the state. And now she's dubbed the face of the WNBA. And if we look at her actual stats, and I'm going to pull them up so you guys can see for yourself and let you read them, she has done phenomenally well in her first couple games. She's done better than AJ Wilson, which y'all love, and Candace Parker. Candace Parker is the face of the WNBA, but there's a transition period now where Caitlin Clark will be, without a doubt. But why don't we keep that same energy with them that we do with Caitlin Clark? I'm sorry, like I had to really address this and come to her defense because, again, it's a big transition. I played competitive sport at a state championship level, and I can't imagine going from that to being pro, obviously, and having the weight of the world on your shoulders because everyone's like, Caitlin Clark. She's dealing with media. She's dealing with her own personal adjustments to living in a new state. She's from the Midwest, but it's still a cultural shock. And then on top of that, you're the face of the NBA at 22 years old. Come on, guys, cut her a break. Let her focus on her game. She's doing phenomenally well. This rookie class has been honestly a game-changing factor, and Uncle Charles spoke about this. She alone has attracted. If I'm the CEO of the WNBA, and I'm just sitting back and I'm like, damn, like we are gonna be the most watched women's league in the world at some point, even if not now. So I would be on the Indiana Fever and asking them for a PR team that will really handle Caitlin Clark's business. She's handled it super well, don't get me wrong, in college. I think she just needs more like support from the media side, because she needs to be a little bit better posed in terms of handling the hate response. I work in sports marketing, sports digital marketing to be specific, and I know that whole WNBA team, executive team, is sitting back and they're probably having a drink right now, toasting to every single game, because she single-handedly transformed women's basketball. And y'all that be hating were the same ones that were jumping on her bandwagon as a best supporter when she was doing well at University of Iowa. Like, let the chick breathe. Like why can't she adapt to the league? Like her class peers who are also still adapted. Look at Angel Reese. Look at Cameron Brink. They're not putting up the same numbers. Y'all shifted your love to Kate Martin. And don't get me wrong, I've got so much love for Kate Martin in her game, who she is. But keep that same energy with Caitlin Clark. This is an epitome of people build you up to see you fail. They don't want to see you win. So it's either they're gonna love you and then they're gonna hate you, and then they're gonna love her again. Watch, she's gonna do something incredible by the end of the season, and then everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, Caitlin Clark, I ate what I said." So I just had to hop on here and add my 2 cents, and I'm gonna run a couple clips of her getting a little bit overplayed and dominated, but also her humility and her response, and on top of that, just a little bit more with the interviews of certain players, even Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum, just defending her. And I love that. I love that unity, that camaraderie from the people that she looked up to. So yeah, I just want to say thank you guys. I was sick. I'm going to keep dropping. We're going to go back to the normal format. Please stay tuned. Let's get the viewership up. If you like this video, please drop a like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comment section. I interact a lot with the comments, so please let me know your thoughts.
You had Kelsey Plum complaining about the amount of money she was making and the fact that she wanted a bigger cut. You had the entire world complaining about how women weren't getting paid their fair share and how Caitlin Clark was only getting paid $76,000. But the thing is, if you just decide not to take chartered flights to your games, you could pay all of these players almost double their salaries. It's actually insane that this is a thing. No, literally, like every WNBA team will start using charter flights to travel to games by May 21st. The league made the announcement Thursday, following through on plans to commit $50 million over the next 2 years to provide full-time charter flight service for its teams during the season. You have to admit, this is kind of ridiculous. But at the very minimum, we could at least make an argument that, hey, at least the women are more comfortable, and that's great, even though it doesn't really make a lot of sense here. To give you an idea, the entire WNBA salary is $18 million a year, so the fact that $25 million is being used to charter flights, to me, it's not something that I'm willing to move on from so easily, but I'll do my best now. At least you could make an argument that Caitlin Clark's presence is making WNBA players more comfortable, so they would have a lot of gratitude towards her, right? I mean,
thank you, Caitlin Clark, for making people give a shit about our league that no one cared about before, right?
Well, here's how she's being treated in games. It seems like players are literally trying to end her career prematurely, and that's not the only instance of it. You would think women would be celebrating the fact that Caitlin Clark is successful, that she's going into a sport that was considered to be a man's sport, a sport that NBA legends were recommending lowered the rim so women could dunk finally, and she's starting to dominate in it, and she's making it entertaining for the masses. So women should be celebrating this, right? Well, that's not what this one person has to say.
I do think that there is a thing called pretty privilege. There is a thing called white privilege. There is a thing called tall privilege. Part of it is about race. Caitlin Clark is bringing this money, these sponsorships, we hope, into the league, and other players will benefit from it. But I do think that she is more relatable to more people because she's white.
So let me get this straight. Not only are you ungrateful for the fact that Caitlin Clark is making people care about the WNBA, but you're attempting to discredit her achievements, and you're criticizing her for being white and straight, which, with all due respect, I don't mean to bring race into this, but Sonny Hostin did. Since when has being white ever been an advantage in basketball? I mean, the WNBA is 70% black, for crying out loud. And the craziest part of all is the Indiana Fever are struggling throughout this year so far, and as they should, they have the #1 overall pick in this past year's WNBA draft. But Jamel Hill is also on Caitlin Clark, and it makes no sense to me. We would all be very naive if we didn't say race and her sexuality played a role in her popularity. While so many people are happy for Caitlin's success, including the players, this has had such an enormous impact on the game. Yeah, Caitlin, why aren't you black and like making out with women, huh? Why do you have to be straight, white, and good at basketball? Oh, the horror. That's the reason why people care about the WNBA now. I just really hate when people pull out these cards. I just wish we could sit back and appreciate talent when we see it. Do we ever say, hey, Victor Wembanyama is black, that's why he's being drafted #1 overall? Do we ever say the reason why LeBron James is so successful is because he's straight? I just wish people could sit back and realize the achievement that Caitlin Clark has done. And she's not having a good time doing it, by the way. I mean, her team is still winless, and Caitlin Clark even acknowledges that she has the most pressure out of any WNBA rookie ever.
She thinks you've faced more pressure than any WNBA rookie ever. I was wondering, A, if you can speak to that pressure at all, and B, if you've had any conversations with Sue at all and what those have been like. If so.
I think there's definitely pressure, but I mean, I don't think it's any different than the stuff I faced in college, and then coming in here, like obviously I know there's going to be pressure, and I mean, our goal every single night we come into these games, we come in expecting to win, so you know, you have that pressure, you have the pressure of performing, you have the pressure of everybody in the outside world watching you, but I think it's something you embrace, and you know, maybe it's a little different and new for the other girls in this organization or the coaches in this organization, but I think everybody's done a really good job of just accepting that's what it is.
Ball don't lie, the ball don't lie.